Okay. Welcome, 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 everyone. Welcome. Tonight it's Tuesday night. And as I promised you last night that I'll be here tonight, I'm actually here. Yes. So before I begin, I just want to say welcome. Welcome. Welcome to the Empowering. Just welcome to the Empowering New Nurses Show. I'm excited you're here again tonight because I have a few tidbits to share with you. But before I actually do that, what I actually want to say is let me hope you had a good day. What was your day like? Let me hope it was an interesting, productive one. I just want to share a thought with you that I shared in an experience this morning, and that was talked about choices. That we are surrounded by choices, and therefore it behoves us to make the right choice. Choose wisely. And of course, if you make the right choice, you will be rewarded accordingly. Now, I promised myself that I would share one of my stories as a nurse. So I'm not sure if any of you, my young nurses, are around, but it's just for you to be encouraged that sometimes you will experience some form of fear, as it were, but that's normal. It is because nursing, it has growth processes, not just process, but processes. So as you progress, you will see where you have grown, or where you have grown to soar, or where you were a novice and then you grow through the different phases until you become an expert, and then also being proficient. That means you're working well and you can make decisions. Of course, you collaborate your thoughts and your ideas, but very much you can make certain decision. You're a great decision maker as you advance in both your experience and your knowledge and your education. So today, from my book, you must have seen this book before. I've been talking a lot about it. So it says Nurse, the guide to empowering new nurses in the delivery of high quality care to all patients. Yep, all patients. Every patient deserves the best care. So some of the fears that my young nurse will experience, some of them, there's so many commonalities as a nurse, wherever you are, different parts of the world, you know, there comes to that point when you're not so comfortable and you're scared of something. But I'm saying that's normal. However, after gaining more experience, that slows down. That actually becomes less. So, in my book, Nurse, the Guide to Empowering New Nurses, I have a chapter on the fear roller coaster. The fear roller coaster. What is that about? I'm going to take the opportunity to read this paragraph that I wrote, and then I'll talk a little about the fears that nurses do experience. So, nursing is a profession of service, and you know that, both in ordinary and in extraordinary situations. Even in ordinary circumstances, fear is a natural emotion to have when you're in any new or strange environment. You can attest to that. The route you decide to take in addressing these fears and anxiety that they may produce will ultimately determine the outcome. As you interact with others and identify your fears, you will have the ability to address and overcome them successfully. The support, the support provided by the nurses and other members of the healthcare team can dramatically reduce the time you need to overcome any of the fears you feel. Here are some common feelings in ordinary situations or circumstances. Fear of the unknown. What should I expect? What type of reception I'll receive from my facility? What type of people and personalities will I meet? And some of these definitely from my experience that I talk. How should I give nursing report to colleagues and supervisors? Because think of it this way. You're a new nurse and you haven't gained all the experience as yet. And they're going to come over a period of time. But here you are, it's your time to give your report. You're going to make sure you prepare and you're going to make sure you try to put all the, and be structured, you know, follow the steps in giving your report until you are fluent and you're able to just do it. But at the same time, there are key points that you must mention with, for example, certain systems, right? So here it is, you are going through, but you're making sure that fear part, element will arise at times. Fear of making medication errors. You don't want to be the one to make any medication error. You want to be so careful. People's lives are in your hand. And sometimes, for example, we had to work out each medication, yeah, to get the correct dosages and so forth. Of course, you know that there's pharmacology, there's in pharmacology, but there, it to prevent now some of the medication errors, the pharmacies would send them up in the correct dosage, correct containers. Everything is so much more prepared as to lessen any room for any medication errors. So this has really been phenomenal and clever and smart and more reliable. So having the medications pre-poured and so forth. Of course, you still have to do your checks, your medication checks, but it has made it so much easier and better, more efficient. Fear of lawsuits, yes, because if you don't document and in the event something should happen, then you can be in problems. So doc- documentation is critical, is important, because if you do not what? If you do not write it, if you do not document it, it's considered not done. So make sure that you do that. So fear of speaking with the doctor. Some doctors can be very intimidating, and so the nurse might be very scared from their observation to approach them. So these are some of the fears. Fear of being bullied by senior nurses. Some, not all nurses are that warm, but you have some nurses that are ready to share the knowledge, to share the expertise with the young nurses coming on. Make sure you be one of them as you grow in nursing. Fear of delegating. Fear of delegating tasks to associates. Yes. And I've had experience whereby nurses who were, for example, a PC or a CNE or so before they become a registered nurse, and if say they have gone through their exams and they've come return, and especially if they were placed on that same unit that they used to work on before in a different capacity, it can be challenging because they might want to, some of them might tend to forget their role at this time, and so they might just want to to do everything. It doesn't work like that. So of course you're going to respect your position and you will be able to delegate, but I know it can be difficult. So it's something most times you have to work on, put some special effort into that in order to raise the bar and be successful. Fear of not being accepted. Yeah, patients might not accept your patients. Relative might not accept you, and so there might be a fear there. Your colleagues' perception also, fear of what the preceptor might think about you, about your progress, and of course, fear of passing the orientation, or fear of passing, yeah, the orientation, the onboarding, and all of that. And no one wants to fail, so that definitely don't want to make any mistake. Fear of time management. Time management can be a little challenging when you're new. It can be a little challenging, although you try to structure. Remember, you can start off with a patient. You can start off with a patient doing okay, and then before the shift or in the middle of the shift, the patient just, we would say, become dicey, and they, deteriorate sometimes rapidly like that, depending on the case. And so you have to have a mindset that's prepared for whatever comes. And of course, you're gonna seek help. Yeah, you work as a team. So as a member of the team, remember, the fear comes in all from all different angles. Fear of the family, yeah. Fear of learning technology fast enough. Some of the younger nurses, they are very fast and very quick at moving with technology. Others might be a little more challenging, but in that event case, you'll make sure that you spend some more time. If you have to go to the lab more frequently just to make sure that you come up with speed, you got to do that. And of course, you don't want to be the nurse to transfer any infection or any organisms to other patient because you didn't wash your hands, or you, whatever it is. Just make sure that you do your part. So that fear, wash your hands, wash your hands. Do exactly, if it's a case whereby it's isolation, know what type of isolation and the precautionary measures, the policies that go with that, so that you can ensure the patient's safety and your safety. Well, that's it for tonight. You who have listened, make sure that you embrace that. I am on YouTube as Miriam Amanda Smith. Yes, on Instagram as Podcast Mary. And my website is Empowering New Nurses. That nurse, that nurse, that nurse. I'm speaking to you as a new nurse, as if it were you, the only nurse. Yes, it's individualized, personal. So let me wish you all the best. And if you have not yet picked up your book on Amazon bestseller, Nurse, The Guide to Empower New Nurses, do that quickly. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make a comment. I appreciate that. Be blessed.